chosen ones, empaths. You see, when being with a narcissist, especially somewhat into the relationship, basically your life becomes their life, you know? You're constantly living day by day to appease the narcissist. Their problems become your problems. You're solving their problems. You possibly might have even taken on their children. You've taken on all of their issues into your own life, and you've really tried to help them to the best of your capabilities. You've tried to help them. You've nurtured them. You've consoled them. And it's like life's really busy, you know? You're really busy and you don't realize it, but you're drained. You're being like, especially prior to waking up to narcissistic abuse, and even prior to waking up to you're an empath, you don't realize that like you need time to recharge. So like you might find yourself falling asleep in the middle of films, you know, just crashing out, and it's because you're depleted, you know, and they're literally running you ragged, you know, and it's really tiresome, especially if you're maintaining a job at the same time. So you're maintaining your job, your 9 to 5 or whatever time you work, or your business. You're maintaining your income, you know, and that's also feeding into the relationship too. You're buying them things, you're treating them, you're doing everything and more, you know, and it becomes like you don't realize it, but your body is literally craving for alone time. You don't realize it at all because you're so used to having this person by your side. They're in your face every day. You wake up, they're there. And then I haven't even brought into the equation all of the arguments and the drama that they love to produce, you know, all of the drama and the arguments and oh God, it's just so tiresome, right? But eventually you hit a point, either you were discarded or you had to cut them off. And you can go through some real days of loneliness, days, months, even years of feeling really lonely. Especially if they cut you off, and they didn't give, like they've cut you off, they've done the silent treatment on you. You can find yourself maybe back at your family's house or at your place, and life can just feel really lonely. And it's almost like the only person that you want in the world is them. You don't even want anyone else. The only person that you see in your mind is them. And that's because they conditioned you to see that way. That's all you see is them. You see them when you go to sleep. When you wake up, you think about them. You're looking at their social media, or if they've blocked you. And you're in these like serious bout of depression, you know, but you don't realize that this spell that you're going through is actually a real needed time for your development. You don't understand how crucial this period of time when you are alone is actually needed for your development. But I'll get into that a bit later on. But what we find ourselves trying to do is say they blocked us on Instagram or they blocked us on Facebook, then we might email them. Or if they blocked us on the phone, then we might DM them. Or we'll try it basically like they block us on certain things, but they leave something open. And then we might find ourselves endlessly sending messages to this one opened passageway, declaring our love, declaring, come on, let's work this out, and we're getting no response. And what you got to understand is your life, you were drained and ran ragged so bad that now when you're alone, you don't even realize that you need to be alone. But if you're a true empath, a chosen one, then alone time is very much needed for your development. And these lot were stagnating your development. They were causing you to become stagnant, you know. But now you're in that place, you might still be working, you might have even had to give up your job because you're in such a distraught state, post-discard or post when you had to cut them off. You might have even had to give up your job. But even if you are still working, work don't feel the same. Nothing feels the same. And it's because they've had you under this love spell. They've had you under this love spell. Now, I know I've started this video a bit outwardly, but I just wanted to paint a picture for you, right? But what tends to happen is we don't see anyone else, right? All we see is them. And this can go on for a while, right? But eventually, we go for the second best option. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It will take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. We go for the second best option. Not really the second best option, but in our minds, because we're so interwoven with them, we go for this other option, right? And this other option is we look for someone else. Now, this is where you need to be careful of who you confide in about your narcissistic ex. Because what happens is you need someone to talk to. Friends don't understand. You talk to your friends, you're not over that, yeah? You're not over that, yeah? That relationship was only a year. You're not over that, yeah? That relationship was only 6 months. You're not over that, yeah? Or that relationship was... Come on, man, move on. You're not over that. That's the type of stuff that we're faced with. But they don't realize that we're victims of abuse. And even when you try and tell these people, listen, you might have even woken up to a bit of narcissism and you're trying to tell people about narcissism, they'll think you're crazy. They don't understand it because they haven't lived it. But the toll it takes on your body, this narcissistic abuse, those days when we weren't eating, weren't sleeping, the uncontrollable tears when you're just walking down the road and then you just feel this emotion come over you and you're crying. And I know I'm a man and it's hard for me to even say that, but like, that's what happened to me. Because I didn't know where the hell I was at all. But I found myself running to some other people. And I began to confide in them about the narcissist and stuff. And yeah, it gives a little temporary relief. Right? I began to confide in some people. But we need to be careful who we confide in, because these people I confided in, these people were the enemy as well. Do you know what these people are that are waiting around all corners of the earth, wherever you are on the earth? They come in to pick up and finish us off. Because this is all devil inspired. What happened to us with the narcissist is demonically inspired. So the devil will come through someone else, act as someone like a knight in shining armor for the ladies, and I can't even find an equivalent for the men, but someone that's gonna care for you, someone that's gonna care for you in that way, you know. And they're gonna come across that way, and they're gonna tell you, oh, you know, that's so bad what happened to you. But really what they're doing is they're finding all this information out about what you know, where this person done you wrong and your insecurities. They're going to find all this information out, and their mind is like a book, and they're taking note of all of this stuff. And the problem is that we'll face is if we're still looking at the narcissist social media and we're seeing them move on and stuff like that, and then we're feeling like, right, it's time for me to move on, it's time for me to move on, this person seems like a suitable candidate, I'm going to move on with them. And we get with these people, and then we're intimate with them. And that's bringing soul ties into the equation. Well, stronger soul ties, because you can have soul ties even without being intimate. But you're going to bring soul ties into the equation. Then you're going to get a little bit further down the road with this person, and you're going to find out they're a narcissist as well. And literally, they've been put in that place, wherever you met them, to take you right off the game. Right out of the game. That's what they're put there for. They're put there to finish the job of the narcissist, or what the narcissist didn't do to you. And that's why I say, like I said earlier on, this period of loneliness that you feel, don't try and balance that out with finding someone. Now, I know that might sound counterintuitive, because you're going to say, hold on a minute, but I'm lonely. I want to meet someone. I'm telling you now that if you meet someone when you're not fully healed and you're not ready to meet someone, it is a very dangerous situation to be in. Because same way the narcissist is talking about you to the new supply, we're moving like that. If we meet this new person and it's only been a couple of weeks or a month or a few months or something, and we start telling them about our narcissistic ex, and they're a narcissist, and they're this and they're that, you know. It's a very dangerous situation, because you're basically putting it out on the table of all of your insecurities. Now, telling a good friend, or your mum, or your dad, or your auntie, your uncle, or whoever, someone close to you, about what happened with a narcissist, they might not give you the best information, but it's a lot safer to confide in someone like that than it is to confide in a new romantic partner. If you're meeting a new romantic partner, safeguard this information that happened about your ex. If they ask you about your ex very early on, just say, yeah, it didn't work out right, we went our separate ways. Because they don't need to know. Because what you need to be doing in that situation is, instead of pouring out your heart about all of the abuse that you faced, you need to be analysing, is this person an abuser as well? You need to be analysing, is this person cut from that cloth that narcissist is cut from? Do you see what I'm saying? And me, for instance, I was confiding in these people, but then, thanks to the grace of God, or the universe, I noticed certain tendencies in them. Big red flags. And it made me cut it off. It made me cut away. I realized how they were doing the victim thing again. They were acting like a victim. They were talking about their ex to enable me to talk about my ex. They were doing ranges of things to try and lure me in. And I had to make sure I cut it away from them. So just be careful about who you confide in about this, because it's a very sensitive topic. You've got to understand, let's say this person is genuine. They are kind. They are normal. They're not a narcissist, right? Let's just say that, for instance, right? They're not going to understand narcissistic abuse. So it's still no good confiding into them about narcissistic abuse, because they're not going to understand narcissistic abuse. If you're together further down the line and, you know, you're healed and you want to discuss it, discuss it. But the early on days, you know, at least just enjoy it for what it is. Go out, date, have a meal, go play crazy golf. You know, don't get too involved. Enjoy it for what it is. But don't let, another thing, don't let, because if this person is genuine, don't let your ex-narcissist overshadow something that could possibly be decent. I've spoke about how these lot are possibly narcissists, but let's just say this person is decent. This decent person doesn't want to be hearing about the narcissistic ex over and over and over again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to be hearing that. So just be careful who you confide in. But the main reason why I would say be careful who you confide in is because there's other narcissists out there ready to finish us off. They're out there waiting to jump in and carry on from where the last narcissist started. The best way that I've found to heal is actually by being alone. And as I said before, I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I swear to God, there was times post-relationship where all I desired was someone or the narcissist back in my life. And now, by being alone, I feel so liberated with myself. I don't want anyone in my life. I'm not even looking for anyone in my life. And if someone comes along, which is more likely to come along that way, then I'll be ready for it. But I'm not looking. I'm focusing on other things. I'm focusing on advancing. I'm focusing on bettering myself. I'm focusing on developing myself, building up myself up. And that's what I want you lot to do as well. Because these lot left us in a shell of ourselves. And we need to take our time to actually work on ourselves and regulate our emotions better and literally become better versions of ourselves. We need to give time for that. I'd always strongly advise rushing out there into new relationships straight away. I believe even rushing off into a new relationship after 6 months is too soon. You might have been with previous exes before and you come out of a relationship, you were sad for a month or two, and then you got into a new relationship and everything was fine. But to be honest with you, with narcissists, it's just not the case. They leave such a stain on us. It's very hard to shake that so soon. It's very hard to shake what they left us with so soon. So just be careful of falling into new narcissistic relationships. If you're considering going out there and meeting new people, just have the narcissist goggles on. You go out, you sit down, you have a meal, you notice someone talking about some victim story, making you uncomfortable while you eat your burger and chips. You know what I mean? They start, oh, this happened to me. You gotta say, no, that's a red flag. Anyone who mentions this kind of stuff over dinner when we first meet is a narcissist. And you've got to cut the contact. You meet someone that starts doing some intense love bomb. Back away and say, you know what? I know I'll get bitten if I start enjoying that kind of feeling. Because yeah, the love bomb feels good, doesn't it? But it doesn't last. It's not real love. It's done as a tool of deception. The words I love you are used as a tool of deception. So if you get some tendencies that this person is love bombing you at the beginning of the relationship, cut them off. If you're dealing with someone who's choppy and changey, they're going hot and cold, they're doing these things, cut them off. You deal with someone who's not answering your calls, and it's not just for like out of a genuine reason. They're just genuinely blanking you. Then they're answering you. Then they're speaking to you. All of this stuff, we ain't got time to put up with that. We want that tranquil kind of love. We want that real kind of love. You know what I'm saying? The love that we have inside us that we still have to give. That's one thing the narcissist didn't destroy. The narcissist couldn't ever destroy the love that we're able to give to someone else. But now we've been with the narcissist, we just need to be more careful about and more selective about who we give that love to. That's all it's about. We just need to be more careful about who we give that love to. Because not everyone is deserving of having this love that we have inside of us. Not everyone's deserving of that at all. Not everyone is deserving of it. So we need to be careful. So please, people, I'm worried for you about meeting new people. Yes, we can meet new people. It's fine to meet new people. But please, let's treat it as a game. Treat it as a game. Like, spot the narcissist. You know what I'm saying? So you go out with your friends. Just, even if you're playing the game by yourself, spot the narcissist. You trust me, because your antennas are on high alert now, man. After this experience you've enjoyed with that previous narcissist, as long as we don't fall into the thing of confiding in someone straight away and opening up to them straight away about our previous ex, and we stay on the back foot a bit, and we let them do the talking, and we try to work them out, and we do that, that's better. And then when you see that narcissist, say, see ya, I'm gone, and then you haven't got there's no connection there. There's nothing that they can do to you. It's just you got out early before they dug their claws in. Because I'm worried, we are vulnerable, and I was vulnerable at the time when I met these other narcissists. I was vulnerable, and they tried to lure me out. They literally tried to lure me out, and I was falling into the victim stories again. It would have just been a whole repeat of events, and I'm so glad I didn't get so involved with them, and it turned into a big relationship and stuff like that, because that would have just wrecked me, man. That would have wrecked me, because the pain I went through from the first narcissist relationship, or romantic relationship, should I say. I'm so glad I didn't get involved with these other ones. I would have wasted more of my time, more of my life. And we ain't got any time for that, man. So just be careful when you're out there. And trust me, the most beautiful time is when you can actually say, I love my company, I love my alone time, and I'm not letting anybody in that's not deserving of it. And that's where I'm at now. And I'm not telling you that you all need to be like that. You know, all of us are different. We might be all chosen ones and empaths, but you might be more ready to meet someone sooner than I was, you know. You might be more ready to meet someone sooner than I was. We all heal at different rates. But for me, I'd rather use this energy, instead of pouring it into someone else again, I'd rather put it into the YouTube. You know, I've always wanted to write a book, put it into other things. And then if a relationship pops up further down the line, then I can partake in it. But at least I'm not going to give up on my YouTube. I'm not going to give up on writing my book. I'm not going to give up on my passions and my goals. And my whole life doesn't just come consumed by someone else. That's the mistake we made. We allowed someone else to consume our life. And we don't need to do that again. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to this channel, you can find a link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find a link in the description box. Currently, I've got the secondary channel, the spiritual channel. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.